Welcome back to the In Between Overs podcast. I'm Taran.
I'm Ishan.
Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel.
It was India's first game of the T20 World Cup campaign against Namibia. Obviously, not the highest competition early on for Team India, but nonetheless, we've seen upsets in this tournament, so cannot take them for granted. It was a good game for India, unfortunately. Namibia falling short. I think the score was a little too high. India, batting deep, batting up to 200 runs plus. Namibia, unfortunately, not being able to chase that. India with a great start to their T20 campaign, albeit with a little bit of a different lineup, some changes, some injuries, some sickness as well. Namibia, did play well. They kind of, I would say, gave India a little bit of a scare in the beginning, especially around the power play. But then the spinners came on. It was a little too difficult for them in terms of getting those runs. So great start for Team India. I think Namibia would be looking back at their performance and taking some great takeaways. But again, business as usual for Team India. Great start to the T20 campaign. Taran, what were your thoughts?
Let's be real. This was center wicket practice for Team India. They were not challenged during this entire game. It was good for the batters to get starts and some time in the middle. Nice to see runs from Hardik Pandya with the 50. Ishan Kishan continuing his amazing form. We got to talk about Sanju Samson. He got an opportunity to play because Abhishek's sick, and he looked really good in those 8 balls. Too bad he wasn't able to continue. He looked like he could get to the second or third fastest 50. Yuvraj is not going to be touched, I don't think. But he looked good to get there, to at least be on par with Abhishek, but not meant to be. And then the bowlers just came in and they just did their thing. Namibia got off to a good start, but I knew I have I've said this before. Varun Chakravarti against these teams that have not faced him is going to be a handful, and it showed again where he was able to rip their middle order apart, and essentially in 2 overs. He only needed 2 overs to do that. I didn't even bowl his entire four, which shows how easy of a win it was for India.
Yeah, I know. And again, quickly starting with sort of India's batting, you saw that explosive start from the openers, Ishan Kishan as usual. And you're right. Sanju Samson looked so great, but I think he got a little bit greedy. I think he was disappointed as well because I think he could have had a huge score. I think this could have created a headache for the Team India selection committee if he was able to score runs. But I think he made some good runs. It did give India them that momentum. And just India just batted too deep. As you mentioned, even Hardik Pandya with a wonderful 50-plus score. I think he's been a little, I would say, underrated just because a lot of the batting has been coming from the top. Hardik Pandya
Hmm.
has performed very well with the bat, and you just hope he continues to form. But no, it was just to your point, it was batting practice. It seemed like one of those preliminary games that someone was going to retire hurt after their 50. It was just a little too much for Namibia. Good to see some of the batters come in. Um, Yadav as well was able to get some runs under his belt, but again, you just hope that it was just sort of bad in practice, and the big game is obviously on Sunday for Team India.
Yeah, just to unpack the batting a little more, I like Hardik Pandya at 5. I think that that is a good position for him because he has the ability to change gears. And so if we see like a top order collapse, I would bank on having Hardik Pandya come in. Although in the recent past he's been looked at more of a finisher alongside Rinku Singh. I think he has the ability to play a longer innings like he showed. I mean, he still had a healthy strike rate, but he came in, I believe he came in because he came at number 5. He came in the 10th over. So he had 10 overs to play, which I think is a good amount of overs for Hardik. And he is such a good batsman that I feel 6 and 7 is too low for him. He needs to come in at 5. And then Shivam Dube comes in 6, 7, and of course Akshar at 8. So I like this lineup a lot. I like the order a lot too. Knowing GG, knowing Sky is probably going to change still. So, but I feel Hardik at 5 would be a game changer in every single match that they play.
So there is talk of at least some chatter online that Washington Sundar may be coming back in the lineup. If he comes back in the lineup, do you think he threatens the number 5 position that Hardik Pandya currently occupies?
First off, where would he be coming in for?
There's talk that he may be coming in for maybe a Shivam Dube, like an all-rounder perhaps.
Yeah.
There's just talks about that. So again, we know how good of a batter he is. Again, he's such a classy player. He's able to get that left-hand combination as well. Do you see him coming in, if he does, and then threatening the number 5 position for Hardik Pandya?
I have a feeling it's going to be dependent on how many overs are left in the innings. I think if it's less than 10 overs, maybe we see Washi come in. If they have batted less than 10 overs, so more than 10 overs left. If there is less than 10 overs left in the innings, then I think Hardik Pandya comes in. Hardik
Yes.
Pandya comes in, and then Washi drops down the order. I'm probably pushing Rinku Singh up at that point as well, and maybe even Akshar Patel.
Or do you take Rinku Singh off and you put in Washington Sundar?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think Rinku Singh is a key cog because he has the ability to strike from ball one, which is an underrated skill that very few players in the world have. So I know Rinku Singh's inability to bowl has been an issue for him being in the squad and in the lineup. We saw as recent as the last couple of series just before the last couple of series where he was left out because India went for a different combination
Yep.
with the 11, right? And one of the reasons was his inability to bowl. So, but that his ability to play the innings that he can, I think supersedes his inability to bowl. And I feel that he's a lock in the lineup unless he's out of form or he's injured. So I feel it's just the all rounders. Akshar Patel, I think, is the number one all rounder. He walks into this 11, and so the other spot would be Shivam Dube. So I feel if it's a spin friendly wicket and they need another spinner, then Washi walks in. And Colombo, Sri Lanka is known to be spin friendly. We've seen it in some of the games happening so far, where the spinners have been doing well, the wickets have been slower. So I could see Washi coming in for Shivam Dube.
Really, really interesting. I could see maybe Washi coming in for Rinku Singh. I've seen that chatter online. I think they may want to keep Shivam Dube in because of the fact that Shivam Dube, especially if you're looking at the next game, plays extremely well against spin. There's a lot there's a lot
Mm.
talking right now about Pakistan's spinning team. We're not, you could talk about,
Let's
the
come back to the India-Pakistan preview. Let's come back to that. Let's finish off with
but
Namibia. So
yeah,
uh,
it's
in,
a lot of flexibility that India has, which is good, right?
yeah, so India ended up with 209. Shout out to Gerhard Erasmus, who showed his own version of an Usman Tariq action with the low arm bowling. Actually, looked more like Kedar Jadhav from back in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day
yeah. Back in the days, I
with the
remember.
low arm slingy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he took a four. He looked pretty good. He was able to stem the flow of runs at the end there. It looked like India was set for 250, but they weren't able to kick off. I think the last two overs they only scored 4 or 5 runs.
Very suppressed.
Which
Very suppressed. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Namibia actually restricted India to 209. You could look at it that way. Otherwise, the score was looking set for 230 plus score. Um, Anything else with the bowling from Namibia? I don't think there's too much they could do. It's just the skill set of the Indian batters is just too high.
Exactly, exactly. But to your point, great shout out to Gerhard Erasmus. Is he of any relation to the umpire?
I don't think so. I looked this up before, and no relation to the umpire. It's just, I
No,
guess it's a common Namibian name.
fair, fair, fair. But no, he was able to get some solid wickets as well. And getting 4 wickets against India is no small feat. So, definitely, big shout out to him. But no, it was just a little too much. Again, a lot of the rest of the bowlers kind of going around double digits economy anyways. So it was just tough time for the bowlers all in all.
So Namibia come out to bat. At this point, you're thinking they probably just want to get something respectable on the board. Maybe someone scores a 50 and that becomes their highlight for their career, which is amazing to score a 50 against an attack like the Indian attack that has Bumrah and Chakravarti in. Uh, Got off to a good start. They, I think, put up a 50 plus in the first six, which was good for an associate team against this lineup. But again, you felt that India were going through the motions. They didn't have to try too hard to get Namibia out.
No, no. And it started off with Arshdeep Singh getting another wicket in the power play. He is that player that does get the wickets up top, which you need. You need to get those wickets in a T20 game because of the power play. We've always talked about in this podcast. you need to make some inroads during the power play, and Arshdeep Singh is that player. So it's great to see him sort of come in and get that wicket. But yeah, no, to your point, it was just a little too much. The score was too high. They had to take risky shots. But with India's bowling lineup, they were able to anticipate that and get those wickets. And to your point, if the fast bowlers are not able to get the wickets, you have Bumrah coming in as well. And if he's not able to get the wickets, you have the spinners coming in. So it's a very, very tough task for any batting side, especially an associate nation batting side.
All right, so enough of the India-Namibia game. We got to preview the big game on Sunday, India versus Pakistan. It's going to happen. There's going to be drama. There's going to be some spice for sure. But the big talk is Usman Tariq. He seems to have taken the cricketing headlines with his action. I'm okay with it. It looks completely legal to me. It is very unique. His stop-start ability to just pause in the middle of his run up and bowl. I don't know why other people have not done that. I think it's completely fine. We see batters now switching stances, switching from right to left or left to right, right? So why can't a bowler stop? It's going to be interesting to see how India tackle him. I don't think they've played anything like him before. Maybe in the domestic circuit, there's probably guys going around that may do that. But it's going to be super interesting, and maybe we see some batters walk away in the middle of his run up and create a dead ball situation that then makes it challenging for the umpires to deal with. So maybe we see that. Who knows?
That is an interesting shout, Ron. Like, I'm just imagining where he does have that hesitation, and you could perhaps see a Sky or a Pandya maybe just step away. But if he
Yeah.
bowls that and it hits the stumps, it does leave the umpire in a very, very tricky position in the biggest game in the world. So it is definitely a recipe for disaster, or at least, controversy. But do you think India maybe perhaps need to take sort of a book from their sleeves and for example, a lot of people when they face India, they see off Bumrah, right? They see off those key bowlers. Should India
Yeah.
play with that mentality in this contract where it's like, hey, let's just see him off. Let's not, overextend ourselves. Let's focus on the other batsmen, but let's just see him off just because, he has, especially the last few games, gone like cluster of wickets against different opposition.
I think they can't afford to do that because they still need to score a decent economy against him. I feel that maybe they could see him off given that the Sri Lankan wickets are slower, and so they probably want to preserve wickets for the end. I don't think it's one of those wickets like the ones in India where you could go hard from ball one. We saw that in the Australia Zimbabwe game where Australia's literally their plan of attack was just to attack. And it was the batters like Renshaw, the batters like the batters that are able to maneuver the ball, milk runs rather than bash the ball that have done well. And so maybe they just need to milk it against Usman Tariq rather than take risks. And that's probably how they need to treat the middle over stage. Because Shadab Khan has come back into this team,
Yes.
Sunny team. He was left off for a while. He's made his way back. He's done well in the franchise circuit. He looks good. He's a more well-rounded bowler. His batting has improved as well, but from a bowling perspective, he's going to be tough to handle along with um oh my gosh, his name eludes me.
Spinner.
Abrar. Along with Abrar. I can't
Yeah, with
believe
the
I
head.
forgot
Yeah,
his name.
the guy moves his head like this.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to do a celebration, but I couldn't remember his name. Shout out to him for his marketing then.
Yeah, for sure. But
But yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
So I think those three spinners are going to be a handful on these Colombo wickets, and India will have to find a way to attack in the power play, and then probably at the end in the death and the middle overs probably find a way to score healthily but not lose a lot of wickets because there's a high possibility against these three spinners, two of them being leg spinners, the other one being a mystery spinner that could potentially be a threat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and especially from India's batting selection standpoint as well. You do want to see Shivam Dube there just because of how well he plays spin. But then you have Washington Sundar around the corner as well, so it'll be interesting. Abhishek Sharma, he's obviously missed the last game. Sanju Samson had come in. He was a little ill. I think online chatter indicates he'll be back. How excited are you for Abhishek Sharma and now Ishan Kishan starting off for Team India against Pakistan?
If Abhishek's back, it's gonna be drama and theater for sure. Shaheen Afridi facing up to Abhishek Sharma. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's gonna be amazing. Hopefully, Abhishek Sharma gets past the first ball. I think he's had a couple of first ballers lately, but I feel it's gonna be an amazing start if the two of them if they're going.
Do you expect any changes from a bowling side? Because obviously Siraj is in the squad now. He didn't play the last game because Bumrah was in, but we all know how Siraj plays in Sri Lanka. You know that infamous Asia Cup game where he got like 5 wickets in four overs. He knows how to play in Sri Lanka. Do you see any changes from a bowling standpoint for Team India in comparison to what the lineup was against Namibia?
I don't see a change with the fast bowlers. There is a possibility you play Siraj given his ability to bowl on those wickets, but I don't think you change Arshdeep because of that left arm angle. So I'm sticking with Arshdeep and Bumrah. I was actually thinking India go aggressive and play Kuldeep and Chakravarti. Yeah,
Interesting, interesting.
play Kuldeep and Chakravarti. Yeah, that means you bat till 7. Feel like you'll be okay having 7 batters against Pakistan, and you play Kuldeep Chakravarti and Bumrah. That's 12 overs that Pakistan got to figure a way to score at least 80 to 100 runs off of,
So,
which is not going to be easy.
Kuldeep instead of who?
So you would have to leave out either Shivam Dube or Rinku Singh. But if you're playing Kuldeep Yadav, you're probably not going to need Shivam Dube. So with the ball. So I'm keeping Rinku in and leaving Shivam Dube out.
Fair. That's a little hard for me to wrap my head around, just because, in my opinion, I need Shivam Dube against Pakistan. You know, against
Mm.
the spinners. So I do see the merit in bringing Yadav in, especially against Pakistan. He's had a great record against, especially Babar. I know Babar isn't playing, but he's just in the mind of the Pakistanis. But to your point, though, I sorry, but to my point, I'm just not sure if Shivam Dube is the correct option, because you got to have a player who could take down spin, and that's Shivam Dube in our team. So it's a little headache for Team India for sure.
You could also see a situation where they leave out Arshdeep and play Kuldeep. If it is a spin friendly wicket.
That's what I thought they're going to be able to do. And of course, and then Shivam Dube will get the first ball of the innings.
Yeah. Shivam Dube and Hardik Pandya opening the bowling.
Classic GG.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening because Hardik Pandya and Bumrah gives you 8 overs. Hardik Pandya will give you 4 overs, right? And so if you're
Yeah.
playing 3 spinners, if one of the 5 goes for runs, you fill in over here or there with Shivam Dube. And if it is a spin-friendly wicket, you bring in Abhishek Sharma as well. If he's
Yes.
playing, you get an over off of him, you get an over off of Tilak Varma, and you're good.
And you're good. Yeah. Especially after a wicket falls and then you quickly get a new bowling option in. Yeah, and Sky's not hesitant to do that as well. So it'll be interesting. I think tomorrow's game will be super interesting. I think we're all praying that it does not rain. The forecast, I think, is saying 40 to 50% showers in Colombo. But after all that's been going on, I just hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope we see handshakes. I don't want none of that bullshit political stuff coming into the cricket. Just keep that separate. Do your handshakes. You guys are professional sports people and leave the politics with the politicians.
Exactly. We want to see a good Team India win, but then shake hands after.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one. All right, we can't wait for the India Pakistan game. We will bring you the review of the game after. Until then, that's thumbs.